Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Comics Evolve, where we discuss all things around comics media culture with your hosts, Andy, Jarian, and Alex.
Welcome to Comics Evolve with myself, Andy Stead.
And I'm Jarian Gibson.
And I'm Alex Stroud.
And we are being joined today for the second time by Luck Mangione. How you doing, Luck?
I'm good, guys. How are all of you?
We're all good, thanks. We're all good.
Awesome.
We're going to dive straight into a massive conversation with you very, very shortly. But before we get started, Jarian, has your game finished yet?
Yeah, it's over. So
your team won.
No, not my team. My wife's team, and I live in Kansas City. Yeah, so I'm wearing Commanders colors today.
Well, so it's all happy in your house, is it, at the moment?
Yep, going back to the Super Bowl for 5 out of 6 years, and 6 years straight in the AFC Championship game. That's a pretty good team. Hopefully my team can catch up someday.
Oh, right, cool. Excellent. Alex, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Been a busy weekend, but I'm happy to have finished everything that I was working on this weekend, and happy to be here. So
lots of little projects. We're always happy to be here. It's one of my favorite times of the week, coming on and speak geek stuff with you guys. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm very nearly finished my Manifest watch, and it's actually picked up. It's picked up in season 4. I think they know it's going to finish, and they've kind of gone, look, we know that this show's going to be done, and they've really invested into it, and I'm really enjoying the 4th season of it. So can't wait to finish that one off, and then maybe do some rewatching of some of the Netflix Marvel stuff for obvious reasons. But look, we've got Lucky on with us today. Luck, we know that you've had some developments since last time. Probably about a year ago now, I believe. We probably spoke to you, and you had lots of stuff going on. So, Luck, look, I know that some of our listeners will be familiar with who you are. Some of them won't. So, look, just explain who you are, what you do, and then we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, my name is Luck Mangione. I live in the southeast area of the country. I live in North Carolina areas where I live. I was living in Atlanta, but I moved back to North Carolina. I'm an actor. I'm a full-time actor, but I also do a lot of cosplay stuff as well. So I travel out to California to some of the big cons out there, like San Diego, LA, WonderCon. And then I do a lot of stuff down here in North Carolina for cons like the Heroes Convention they do every year. Raleigh has a big Galaxy Con. So I'm a big cosplayer in the area. I'm a big Wolverine cosplayer. I've done a few other things, but Wolverine's kind of my, shtick, you could say. It's my favorite character of all time. I'm a huge X-Men comic book fan. So, it's a little bit about me.
And some of your Wolverine cosplay has just got better and better over the last sort of year or 18 months. It just keeps getting better, and you keep getting more varied in the ones that you do. It's not just Wolverine in a yellow outfit. You do all the different variations of the Wolverine stuff. And what have been some of your favorite Wolverine variations on cosplays that you've done?
Well, my favorite has always been the Brown and Tan one that John Byrne had introduced, back in the day. I think it was issue 101 or 1, something like that. I can't remember the exact issue it was, but that's always been my favorite one. I think it's just kind of low key, just like a very dark, it kind of brings out his, it brings out Wolverine. When I see that, I think Wolverine. Where the yellow and blue was never really one of my favorites. And the yellow and blue, I've never really done that one, and I'm planning to do that in the next year. We're going to do that in the original 181 appearance as well. I'm going to do both those. But the brown tan has always been my favorite, and I'm a big fan of the X-Force one too, because it gives me that same vibe as the brown and tan one. But I also like Patch. I like his Patch persona, and I'm going to be doing an Age of Apocalypse very soon as well, along with for San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to be doing a Gladiator Wolverine cosplay. And on top of that, I'm going to be stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to be doing a really cool Gladiator Odin cosplay for San Diego as well. It's going to be phenomenal.
You got some different bits coming up for San Diego.
I do.
Nice. Nice. So, Luck, look, listen. We know, you've got some news on a new indie project that you've got going on. and there's been some developments in that, isn't there? I remember the last time we spoke to you, it was just rumblings and just words, and now I believe that we've got more on the horizon.
Oh yeah, a lot. So the name of the film will be titled "Eternal Burden." Is the working title of the film. It's Wolverine, Eternal Burden, an X-Men fan film, because you are going to see some of the X-Men in the film as cameos, as appearance. Some of them will be main parts of the film as well. And the director that will be directing this film is a man named Roman Santa Croce. Again, Roman Santa Croce, that's Croce. He owns a studio in Atlanta, Georgia, called Creative Force Films. Now, if you've never seen any of his work, look up Creative Force Films. He's done two of the best Star Wars fan films I've ever seen, and he did an amazing Batman film that was more about Jim Gordon and the Joker than anything else. And the guy is just, I mean, he's worked on so many, not just any project, but like a really huge movies as well. I'm talking about like Bad Boys 3. He's done constantly, he's done directing, he's done camera work. The guy's a jack of all trades, and he has an eye for this kind of stuff. And after seeing the films that he did over a couple of years ago, I reached out to him and I said, hey, kind of film that I want to do. I wrote a script. He saw my first script, didn't like it, and then he came across another script that was mine and reached out to me, and I auditioned for him. He's like, man, this is it. Yeah, this is what I want to make. And so now we're making the film, and we start filming at the end of June. One of the producers is a guy named Jonathan Yanez. You can see his stuff on YouTube right now. He is a writer, very well-known writer. He's won many awards for sci-fi books, and he's got a film called oh gosh, I'm gonna go blank for 2 seconds because I know the name of the film. Give me a second, I'll tell you. It's oh my god, I'm gonna have to come back to it, and I'll give you the name of it. I just had to. Oh, Infinity System. He did a film called Infinity System, and he is doing another one that's in post-production right now. And Martin Cove, who is the bad guy in the Karate Kid movies, like the guy who runs the bad Cobra Kai schools, his son Jesse is actually the lead actor in the new film that they're going to be doing. Well, they've already done it, but now it's in post-production. And he is the producer of the Eternal Burden Wolverine film as well.
Excellent. So working with some people who have been around on the scene for a long time, done lots of different things, and I think I think that's the beauty of the modern day that we live in, where so many people can get involved in filmmaking, and it's so more accessible, isn't it, to people? It's not just it's not a closed book. Like it's almost like, right, unless you're in Hollywood you can't make a film. It's like, actually there is a lot out there, a lot of possibilities, and I think that opens up so much more for, like you said, you like, it's called a fan film. You are literally making a film by the fans, for the fans, I should imagine.
Yeah, it is. And no, I haven't even told you guys the big news yet.
Well, real quick though, from the chat here, on the movie title, pretty awesome title there from the chat. So
thank you. And
so what's your big news then?
So, well, the big news is we are in now. I'm going to say in talks, because that's how I have to put this in quotations. Because we are going to be raising money for the film. One of the things that we had a guy out in Ireland that was going to be heading our Kickstarter, but he had to literally, as of this past weekend, drop out. So now we are looking for another person that is really, really good with Kickstarter funding, because we have to fund the film. We got some money, but we can't afford all of it. It's going to be a big independent budget type film for what we're going to raise. And so now we're looking for another person out there. So anybody's listening that knows how to run Kickstarters, because I don't know how to do it at all. I had the knowledge of the film stuff, getting people, but how to run that kind of stuff and lay it out, I'm just horrible at. So we are looking for someone that is interested in heading the Kickstarter for us, being part of the film, and being, a producer, getting a producer credit on the film as well, that we would love to give them maybe even a role in the film if they would be interested in. So someone who's someone who really likes to do that kind of stuff and really wants to know more about film and producing, we're looking for that. But the big news is we are in talks right now with both Daniel Cudmore, who played Colossus in the X-Men film, Doug Jones, And if you know who Doug Jones is, you might want to look him up. Doug Jones has done as one of the, I mean, he think of, I mean, he played Super Fantastic Four movie, played Ape Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He was in Shape of Water, which won an award. Pan's Labyrinth, he played every creature there. And our scripts, they absolutely love it. And they want to be a yet because you have to make that's just how the movie business get paid.
Luck, is Luck breaking up for anybody else, or is it just
Yeah,
me?
he's breaking
Luck,
up.
you're breaking up a little bit, but so I feel like you've gone inside somewhere that's not helping.
Yeah, back outside, you're better.
Is that better?
Yeah,
that's better. Yeah, go back to.
All right, so you
said you had Daniel Cudmore who played Colossus, and then we did kind of hear what you said.
Yeah,
I know what you said because I know anyway. But
and then we have actor Doug Jones, who's also interested in the project and wants to be in it. But we had to make them offers. We cannot do that until our film is funded because, their rates vary from film to film. If it was a $20 million budget, we're going to pay them what it is. But if it's a $100,000 budget, we can't pay them what they would normally get for a big budget for a $10 million film. They know that. So they're trying to work with us, but we can't offer any type of rate to them right now because we have not, put our Kickstarter out yet. We don't have the funds available to do everything. And in order for them to be in the film, we had to make an offer to them. And we can't make that offer until our Kickstarter starts and we start raising the money for it. Once that happens, which will be on February 27th is when the Kickstarter goes live. It'll run for like a month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months at the longest. And whatever funds we have, that's what we use to make the film. And we make them an offer. And if they say yes, then they'll be both playing roles in the film. I don't want to tell you what Doug will be playing, but Daniel will be reprising his role as Colossus in the movie.
It'd be awesome.
That would be so cool. That would be so cool if you could. I mean, that bit what a great achievement for yourself and the people that are working with him. To get that going again. You're talking about the finances of the film. It just goes to show how difficult it actually is for films to get funded. It's not even, I don't think, on most people's consciousness, like how films get funded. You just kind of think, oh well, they just pay for themselves somehow, don't they? But and maybe that those big budget, big blockbusters they do. But there's lots of movies out there and lots of producers and directors and actors like yourselves who are funding their own stuff pretty much. And more credit to you. And I want to get into a conversation on the strike, obviously the writer's strike that was just happened over the last sort of 12 months with you soon. So I don't know if you can talk a little bit about that around how, the funding of a movie happens, just generally speaking, in the movies, the sort of indie movies.
Yeah. So yeah, that's so everybody has different. Everyone has their films funded different ways, and some people don't even have to fund their film because they have people that are willing to say, "Hey, I'll be your cinematographer, and I'll do it for free." You got those people that they want to make content because that's what they care about. They don't care about. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Everyone cares about the money because we had to make a living, we had to eat, we had to pay our bills. But at the same time, a lot of us just want to make amazing content. We understand that the money might not be there right then and there, but eventually it will come down the road to us because of all the hard work you put in. And I truly believe when you put hard work in stuff, no matter what it is in life, that it will come back to you. It might not be the next day. It could be 5 years from now, but it'll come back to you fruitful because you've put so much into it. People see your passion. They see how much you love doing what you do. And again, it doesn't matter if it's filming or if it's being a server in a restaurant. If people know you love to do something, they will appreciate it and they will stand behind you. And I'm a firm believer in that, no matter what.
Yeah, love that.
But as you were saying, like to fund a project, everybody does different things. Some people do an Indiegogo, some people do a crowdfunding. There's different platforms that you can do. And the thing is, what people have to understand when we do this, we want you to be part of it. So if I'm doing a crowdfunding and I tell you guys, hey, I'm doing this thing, I would love it for you guys to be part of this thing. It's not just you going, I'm just going to give money so you can get it. You're part of this now. You are part of the film. Your name is in the credits. You might be on the set. You might have a part. You might come to the screen of the film. We want you to we want you to feel Like you are a part of this whole journey is what we want. And so it's more than just asking people to know you're getting it. We want to give you things for doing the things for us at the same time.
From the chat here earlier about the additions to the movie, he'd be a great addition to the project. I think he'd be bringing some fans in of his own. So
I agree.
Yeah, and I guess that's what helps, isn't it? When you bring in somebody like that who has been, in bigger projects before, they bring a bit of a following with them, and that brings attention to the project that you're making. And then, so I can see how that works. You play with others, and you can share the fruits of what they've earned, as well, and everyone helps each other out, I guess.
Yeah, and there'll be stretch goals. Every project has a stretch goal. So the first stretch goal might be 50,000, and the next one might be 70, and then 80, and then 90. And to do the whole film, we want to raise about $100,000. Which will do exactly what we're going to do with everything. So having and Doug and Daniel both allowed me to say, hey, on this project, once we start this live Kickstarter, they're going to allow us to put their faces and their pictures up there and what films they've done and what they're going to be doing, but they'll be part of that stretch goal. So we can say, hey, in order for us to get Doug Jones and Daniel Kumar, we need to get at, let's say $80,000. And
okay.
So that way, or $100,000, whatever the cost is going to be, because we got to pay these guys. I mean, they work their asses off, they train, they have families, they got to pay bills, and this is what they do for a living. So they have to be able to make it make sense to them, Mm-hmm. And so just the fact that they allow me to do that is a win-win right there in that situation.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So with that in mind, and talking about making money, and I remember seeing it. It might have even been you that had posted it on social media somewhere, and I picked it up. But during the writers' strike, and it was somebody posting a video of a guy saying, "Look, it kind of doesn't matter to Tom Cruise that he can't make movies right now. It kind of doesn't matter to Ryan Gosling that he can't make movies right now. Not financially, it doesn't matter anyway. These guys have got millions, like they're fine." But they said those kind of people make up 2% of the working actors, in the United States. Like the other sort of 90% of us, he said, we're all just normal people. We were just trying to make money and trying to make a living like everybody else, doing something that we love doing. And I think that a lot of people forgot that, because everyone was saying, well, they get paid enough. And then you're like, well, hold on. There's lots of people out there that, are just like everybody else, and just trying to get by.
All the people that work on set, from costume to makeup to people doing audio and sound and cameras and that kind of stuff. It's a whole downhill thing of people out there that are missing out when the strikes were going on. And then even with COVID too, as well.
Yeah, people tend to forget what it takes to make a movie. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It takes a lot of people to make the things that we love to watch. So it's not just about a guy and a camera and a guy and a woman acting and a director. You got people who, like he said, they're making the outfits. They're doing the crafties. They are, putting their production. I mean, look at the end of any movie that you want to. It doesn't matter what kind of movie it is. Look at all those names in that movie. Thousands and thousands of people made that. It wasn't just 5 people. It was thousands of them that did that. And, like you said, like Ryan Gosling, Tom Cruise, they've made their money. They've done what they've got to do to make where they're going to be at. But there's so many other people out there that want the same success, and I'm like, share the wealth. There's a lot of great actors and a lot of great other parts of the film industry, from camera guys to lighting guys to crafty people to people who make outfits and boots and pants. And there's so many that need this money because this is what they love to do and they want to make money doing it. So this is a way that, I'm trying to put myself out there is, Hollywood's not knocking on my door. So I figured I need to kick their door down.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. But back to what you were saying and what Jarian was saying about the amount of people and all the different people on set and things like this. It always makes me, it opens my eyes a little bit when you see behind the scenes footage from a long way away, and the scene might be just of 1 or 2 guys, and then there's obviously somebody operating the camera, but then behind them are another 4 or 5 dozen people all just sort of doing whatever jobs that they're doing, you know, flitting around, operating booms or other cameras, or, you know, just setting up chairs or something. But there's hundreds of people and what you see on your screen are two people. But you know, there's hundreds of people involved in that one scene, and that's just the scene at the time. That's been written, and that's been, you know, drawn up and storyboarded, and it's been, you know, all
the
of these.
Set's been set up. Yeah,
this is it. The set's been set up. The people who set that up have gone home.
I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have ever been on a movie set. I'm not assuming you have or have not, but I mean, even things like just a simple scene. You know, I'll give an example. I did the movie Goosebumps, and I played one of the main monsters in the film Goosebumps, but I also was a stand-in for Ryan Lee at the time because I was his height. Now, while he's on his trailer getting ready and rehearsing his lines, you got a director and AD, you got the producers, you got about 25 to 40 people on a set. In one small scene, I'm in a car scene. It was a scene where they're kind of driving away from the monsters, but this is on a green screen, and I was a stand-in, and they had to light up. It took about an hour and a half just to get the lighting right. So that way, when everything was done, Ryan comes in and does, a minute of dialogue, and that's it, but I had to be there in that place for over an hour and a half. And those are people who are stand-ins or body doublers or hand doublers, but there's like 40 to 50 people watching you do this, and you're not even an actor, and it's nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
But it's a job, and that's what people that want to get into the industry, want to be actors, that they see the money signs. They just think, oh, I can just be an actor. But it's so much more that it's putting the work in. It's really loving what you do, but it's work. And at the end of the day, it's a job, like anything else. I go to set, and I have a job to do, and I have to make sure I'm doing the right things and make sure I'm doing my job correctly. And if I don't do the job correctly, they're going to say, hey, we don't want you. You're fired. We're going to give it to somebody else and give that person a chance. So I'm constantly training, reading, studying, prepping for a role. I mean, I've been prepping for this role of Wolverine, I feel like my whole life in a sense, But really, this past year, it's a lot. It's me reading books that on Wolverine. It's me working out every day and me eating on a strict diet. It is not easy, but I want to play the role so superbly that fans across the world and people who aren't even fans of Marvel, just fans of movies, say, you know what, this is the guy that should be playing the role. This is the guy that we need to have in the MCU. He's the right height, he's the right build, he's got what it takes to, and that's what I want to happen. It might not happen, but I tell you this, I'm going to give you everything I got to make it happen.
No, good for you. So with this, with your movie, can you give us any inkling of what the story might be? Can you give us a sort of sneak peek?
Is it based on any stories or anything? You said you worked on the script, right? So.
Yes. So it is based on a story from one of the comics. Very brief. So I can't remember which issue it was, and I want to say it was one of the new X-Men comics. Because there's so many X-Men comics nowadays, I can't keep up.
You're breaking up a bit more there.
Issue where Professor X.
Go back and start again. Luck, we missed that bit. Luck, go back and start again.
All right. So it is based loosely on a comic, one of the comics for X-Men comics that I read a while back, probably a few years ago. And I can't remember exactly which X-Men comic it was. I'd have to look it up to be correct. But what happens is in the comic, Logan is sent out on a mission to find a young boy that has a power that is so immensely strong that every time someone's around him, they just explode, is what happens. And he has to kill that kid because the kid can't control his powers, and he's killing everything that he comes. I mean, let's just say he walks in the room right now, and we're all in that room. We're done. We're just toast. There's nothing he can do to control his mutant power. It's completely gone. So it's loosely based upon that. A lot of the film, when I wrote it, was based on my girlfriend's daughter. My girlfriend's daughter is autistic, is what she is. and she has come a long way. She is nonverbal. She didn't talk for the first year. Well, she's 8 now, but she's not talked at all. Maybe mom, maybe dad, things like that. But it took her years to even say those words. And now she's talking more and more and more as I've been in her life, because we have a speech therapist that works with her. Her mom is an amazing mom to her. Gives her all the needs that she has to have as far as medical and stuff and therapy and stuff. And I was watching her one day, and she does this thing. It's what they call stimming. Autistic children can stim. And so it regulates her body. And so she takes these blocks and she puts them on top of one another. Then she takes them down and does the same thing. But she does it repetitively, like for hours and hours. And I saw her doing it one day, and I just came into my head about what if there's a child younger than most kids, kind of like this boy in the comic book, that has a power they can't control because something is not right in their brain or in their body. They can't help it. They were just born that way, and they don't realize that it's happening. And so she was the basis of the character in the film. Her name is Kinsley, and the character in the film will be named Kinsley as well. And the eternal burden is that Logan understands that what he is a weapon. He was made a weapon. He was made a killer by the Weapon X program, right? He was brainwashed by so many people, including Professor X on top of that, okay? If a lot of people don't know, I'm sure you guys know that when he joined the X-Men, it's because he was there to kill him. And Professor X wiped his memory of it and asked him to join for his own purpose and his own cause. So Professor X is to me, he's not a great guy, and he's shown that in many times in comic books as well. So he's just as bad as any other bad guy like Magneto. And I don't think Magneto's a bad guy. I think in a way he's a good guy because he knows what was happening. Like, people were going to turn on him. But anyway, sorry, I went off a little rant.
That was a good rant. I like
Yeah.
it. We talk quite often about how Professor X at the moment in movies has just come off as this nice old grandpa. Where actually he's just a mean old man most of the time.
He's a master manipulator.
He's
and that's and to me that is one of the worst kind of power. Power to manipulate people is very strong, and you can do a lot of things with that. And so in this film, like I said, Logan is a weapon. He knows that he's a weapon, but he also knows that his power is not only a gift, it's also a huge curse. Anybody that can outlive someone can be a curse. You have to watch people around you die all the time. You have to watch your loved ones die, your best friends die. And not just because of natural causes, it can be because, let's say, Omega Red wants to get the Wolverine, and he's going to kill the woman he loves at the time. And because she's involved or even knows who he is, he's going to use that against. That's why in the superhero genre, as we all know, they keep their identity safe, not for themselves, but to protect everybody else. So in this film, Logan understands that this little girl who doesn't understand what her power, she understands it, but because she can't really talk, she has a little bit of, she's not going to be autistic in the film, I'll tell you that. We weren't going to make her an autistic child, but I decided against that. But he understands that if he doesn't stop her, someone else will. Or someone will get to her and make her just like him, and then she's going to have to live with someone always putting a knife to her, a microscope, checking her brain out, trying to figure out what, and use her against the entire world. So that's the internal burden that Wolverine has, is that sometimes you gotta do bad things for the best of the world, but it still hurts, no matter what.
Yep.
But there's another force that I can't say who it is in the film that is also behind the scenes and is also a master manipulator of sorts. And everything that you see in this film, once it happens, wait to the end, because it's gonna be like one of those what's that film called with Bruce Willis? That everyone was yeah, it's gonna be a big Sixth Sense ending.
We got an M. Night Shyamalan twist coming.
oh yeah, very much so.
I really love the sound of that, and I think you can always tell when a movie or a story, just a story, it doesn't matter whether it's a book or a movie or a TV show, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can always tell when a story is based on somewhat of the writer's or director's personal experiences. There's just something else, there's another layer to it. And I love the way that you've connected something that's happening in your life, your real life, with
I write a lot like
that's-
that.
that
I write a
happened
lot
in
of
the
personal
comics
stuff.
now. Yeah, I like it though. I like the way you've kind of, it's almost like you've sort of mashed the 2 or 3 worlds together. You know, real world, your business, your passion, your acting, and comics that have already existed. So there's like a story that existed however many decades ago in the X-Men. There's this story that you're living now, and then you can make it its own story through your work and through your passion. I love that.
Thank you very much. Oh, and one more thing I had to tell you about the film. So the look and feel of the project. Think Carl Urban's Judge Dredd.
Okay.
So the kind of color and the scheme, the dark tones to it, and also think Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
Nice.
So one of the things we are going to do in the film, and this is something me and the director have talked about a lot, is we really want you guys to see the character Wolverine that I'm going to be playing, Logan. We want you to see this animalistic side of him. So when he's fighting these people in these films, that you're going to see and there's going to be some really great action scenes. You're going to see some bloody stuff. I'm talking about, we're going to try to make the film Logan look like a Disney movie, okay? Because we want people to see that berserk race that we all read about in the comics, but we've never really gotten a chance to see. Except Logan did a pretty good job, but we want to kind of take it a step up from that. And you're going to also see a side of Logan, Wolverine. You're going to see that side that makes you feel bad for him. It's going to make you feel bad in the term of, man, this is a guy that has to live with this kind of stuff every day. That he just can't love people like a normal person. That he has to hide his feelings, and you're gonna see an emotional part of him as well.
From the chat here, I know you said you're still working through the Kickstarter, Indiegogo, the way they raise money, but any estimates on when you'd like to get this set, for a release date, or is that still kind of in the gray area with funding?
So it's kind of great. So here's what's gonna happen. I go down to Atlanta. We're gonna be filming another a trailer for the film. It's kind of like a little bit. We've done one. This is gonna be a little bit. I think not to say better, but a bit more professional, because we're gonna be doing a set, and the director will be there as well. I'll have my makeup artist get me ready. We're gonna have an amazing cinematographer. It's gonna be Justin Reich is his name, and he's one of the most phenomenal cinematographers I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I'm talking about, this guy should be like. He should be one of the top cinematographers in Hollywood right now, in my opinion. He just hasn't had the break yet, We're filming that on the 25th, which will be a Sunday. 2 days after that, we launched a Kickstarter. That Kickstarter will run about a month, maybe 2. So February, March, April. So let's say 2 months. April, if we get everything we got funded, then we start making the film in June. It'll be a 4 to 6 day shoot for us to get everything done. After that's done, it goes to post-production, and the hopes is we are going to release it. We're going to do a Los Angeles like a red carpet event for 2025, because it's going to take some time, because if we film in June, post-production gets done August, September, let's say October. It's almost the end of the year. We'll try to screen it, the first screen at LA Comic-Con in that December, if we're able to do it. I have a guy right now that is he's a podcaster as well, but he does a lot of the panels at the Comic-Cons, and he knows the guys there very well, and he's trying to get me in for LA Comic-Con in December. So hopefully it'll be released in December at LA Comic-Con. And then we'll do a bit of a bigger red carpet event sometime, maybe the first of the year in LA, and then we're going to do another one in Atlanta as well.
And then the next thing here from the chat, from what you described, I'm very interested. It's checking a lot of boxes for me. Mm-hmm. So
nice. So you were saying about you're going to do a trailer, and then activate the Kickstarter. Is the trailer, when you do your movies, do you use the trailers as almost like a sales pitch in a way? You make the trailer and it's like, look, this is what this could be. Come in and join us.
Yeah, sometimes, yes. So it depends on what you. So most people, when they make a movie, they'll make the movie first, and then they'll use the part of the film for the trailer. We're doing a little bit reverse because we're gonna do something with a little bit of a voiceover. You're gonna see me. I can't tell you what I'm gonna be wearing or anything like that, but you're gonna see what I look like on camera, and it's that the verbiage might be something that's gonna directly correlate to the film itself. We just want to, when people see me, I want them to go, "Oh shit, that's a Wolverine." This is gonna be, and just the way it's gonna be filmed and the lighting, and it's gonna look really dark and evil and cool, and it's gonna make people go, "Okay, this is a little bit of what you're gonna get. I want to see more."
Yep. Yeah, it's a way to get interest going, get people brought in, hopefully get the however you fundraise for it, start giving money towards the fundraiser.
Yes, and on top of that, it's going to also make it where that trailer will be on the Kickstarter. So I might throw it on my Instagram or my Facebook, but it'll go on the Kickstarter first so people can see it on the Kickstarter and all the tiers and all the things that we're going to be giving away. One of the things that we might be giving, and this is no guarantee yet, so don't quote me on this, but we will be giving one of the pals away, the masks, that will be signed by a lot of really famous artists. Everybody from Rob Liefeld to Art Adams to Frank Miller. It's gonna be one of the things. Wow. It's gonna be a huge one. Like I said, if it gets to that point, and we can get the money of this is one of the things that we want to give away. We might give a suit away. We might give there's gonna be so many cool things that we're gonna be doing for the tiers and stuff. Especially when people are as on a crowdfunding or Indigo, there's always perks. You donate money, you get certain things, and we're going to be doing a lot of that.
It sounds like you got a lot of plans. Okay, so that all sounds really, really cool. We'll give you another chance. You can plug all your bits later on before we go, and of course you'll be able to chuck anything on our group. But just on a side from this, how do you feel at the moment about Deadpool 3? And about the about Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine, and that whole kind of we all thought he was done with Logan. Even he thought he was done with Logan. Now he's back. What are you expecting to see from him? So that whole situation. How are you feeling about that whole situation at the moment?
So now anybody who doesn't like what I'm going to say, I'm sorry. It's just me. Hugh Jackman is an amazing actor. He is, right? People always say, I see feeds that people go, "Oh, he's the greatest Wolverine ever," and my reply is always, "Well, he's the only person who ever got a chance to play him." And I never really not liked him as a person. I mean, I don't know him. He's a great actor, but for me, my Wolverine is my height. My Wolverine's 5'3". Okay, my Wolverine is it's not a handsome looking, heartthrob on GQ magazine. Okay. And that's one of the things that was a really hard sell for me when I first saw him. Because when I first saw him in the first X-Men movies, and he's pretty much taller than Cyclops, I'm going, what's going on here? So it took me some time to really go, okay, I love the movies. I didn't like that they based everything about Wolverine in every film because it was based all around him. And I didn't like that. I wanted to see an X-Men film. For me, Wolverine has never been a primary character. He's always been kind of a secondary person that added a lot of oomph to the project. And that's what I really want to see, in the future for MCU, that they talk about the actual X-Men, the original 5, and then they can add stuff as it comes along. But, give us a chance to see them as teenagers. Let us see a chance as adults. To me, if they did an X-Men film, I think they should start off them as adults in their maybe 35 to 45 range, and then do flashbacks with them as kids. That's just my opinion. As far as Deadpool 3, the guy did it for 24 years. He's doing it again, but I want a new Wolverine. If it's not me, let it be someone closer to what he really is in the comic book, which I would really love to have. Let it be an unknown actor. I don't want a Tom Hardy or that guy they talked about who does all the singing from the Kingsman guy. I want something that I've never seen before. I want someone that really is going to dive into this character and make it their own and not copy what Hugh Jackman's done. I think the film is going to break box office receipts. I truly do. I don't know what to expect from it because we've seen so many things, but just because we see it doesn't mean that we're gonna see it on film. Sometimes they tease those kind of things. I just hope that it makes sense, that they don't dismiss or completely throw away what Logan, when he was gonna retire, what that happened with it. Because if they do that, it's kind of like, to me, it's like a slap in all our faces that, hey, we thought he was done. This is how he went out, and he went out great with his daughter, and now he's back alive again. So I'm kind of curious about how that's going to happen. Is it going to be from another universe? Is it going to be, another timeline? Are they going to use his little Deadpool that had that little time wristwatch now that he can travel back in time? Is he gonna save Logan from getting killed? So I have mixed emotions, but I will say this: I'm excited to go watch in the theaters.
So, it seems like they have said they're not going to touch Logan. I believe the events of Deadpool 3 are going to be before Logan, if I'm not mistaken, when I read.
Yeah.
But hearing your feedback on the original X-Men movies, I'm going to assume you like the second set of X-Men movies better with the younger actors and no Wolverine focus?
So, I yes and no. So, my favorite X-Men of all of them, I would need my top 3, I guess. So I loved X2. That film was phenomenal. It's loosely based on God Loves, Man Kills. It's based on that book there. Loosely, the Nightcrawler scene was amazing. Days of Future Past, I absolutely loved. And then from there, I would probably say I like First Class. I like the younger group, but I would like to see, Angel, Iceman, Beast is there. I would like to see the original 5, but it would be cooler to see them, because it was Fox and they did the younger. But if they do if Marvel does, MCU does it, I want to see it start as they're already established. They're already the X-Men, and then maybe do a like time thing so people can see what had happened. Maybe the first film is all about them and they're trying to protect the world from something really bad happening. And the second film, it goes back and now it's 5 teenager X-Men for the majority of this film. I think that would kind of be a cool way to do it.
Yeah, it seems like they've teased Angel, but never really fleshed out as much in the films. And I'm hoping that MCU direction is better. I do like, for the MCU so far, they've teased Beast, and they've brought Kelsey Grammer back to look like a more comic accurate CGI Beast. So I'm hoping that continues in that direction.
Do you know what? But just listening to you there, like for the last 5 minutes, just talking about Wolverine and Deadpool and the X-Men movies and that, it just proves a point here that you're a fan. Like, you're a fan. Like, you've got your own opinions, and it's based on what you've watched, what you like. You've seen the stuff, and and I think that sometimes speaks volumes, as we've seen for someone like Iman Vellani, who was a fan. And now she's Miss Marvel. So it can happen. It can happen. And I think, if, like you said actually about the passion and the effort that you put into something, if you're that passionate and you put in that much effort and you believe in it and you want it, it can happen. Not saying it will, but it can. So it's just refreshing to hear. Like you're a fan, but you're also pushing for this career as well, which I really like. I really admire that.
Thank you very much. And you know what? And I might not ever have a chance to be the Wolverine in the MCU, but I'm gonna be the Wolverine in this MCU. And I want people. It's funny. The movie business is crazy because it's up to the big studios to bring people in for a certain role because they gotta sell tickets, they gotta make money, and I understand that. But what would be great is when we do this film and it comes out and people go, man, he's what Wolverine should have been. This is the guy who should be playing. And let's say I don't get the role, but people keep saying that, oh, you guys messed up. This is the guy. That would be great. That to me right there would be an honor to even have people say that.
Awesome. Nice stuff. Look, Jarian, Alex, you got anything you want to ask Luck?
I mean, I don't want to like get into spoiler territory on the movie or anything, but is there anything that you want to tell us that doesn't really spoil the film in addition to what you've already said? Or
Okay,
That's what I was thinking the same too.
yeah,
okay, so besides Daniel Kumar and Doug Jones, there is one more other an actress that I would really love to have in the film. I've not reached out to her. This is the first time I've ever mentioned to anybody. So if she sees this, that would be awesome. And I'm gonna go blank on her last name. But have you guys seen the movie? You've seen the show The Boys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a new one called Gen X.
Gen
Yeah,
V.
Gen V. Yes.
Gen V. And there's an actor in there. Her name is oh god, she's the blonde-headed girl that plays the one that can
Kate.
shrink.
Kate.
No, the one that plays
She can shrink and grow.
Yeah,
So-
Gen V. Yeah.
Yeah.
what is
Her name
what's
is
her name?
Her name is Lizzie. It's Lizzie something. I'm going blank on her last name, and I don't want to hop off this.
Jarian's on it. Don't worry. Jarian's on it. He's on it. Don't worry. He'll find it.
Her
He'll
name-
know in
It's
seconds.
Lizzie something, and I would really love to work with her. I think she is an amazing actress. I would love to be able to put her in a cool cameo role in the film. I'm not sure what cameo, if it would be a rogue or if it would be like a Jean Grey or whatever it would be, but she is someone that if I could raise enough money, she'll be another person I would reach out. I would get my, one of the agents, the producers, to reach out and say, hey, would you be interested in doing this, X-Men fan film and making a cameo? I think it would be so that is something I would really like to do. And I guess the other thing is I can't say the name, but for the main villain in the film, he's not like a Mr. Sinister or anything like that, but the character he's playing is a high-profile military person. It's not like a striker. It's like one of the strikers.
Like Shaw, maybe? Like
It-
Sebastian Shaw, maybe?
I mean, not Shaw. It's not even a character. It's just a character I kind of created. A lot of times when I'm writing, a lot of these characters come from my past traumas or something that's happy for me. Like Kinsley, my girlfriend's daughter, she's like my daughter to me as well, So I base this upon being with her and seeing the things that she's gone through and her not having the grasp and understanding of what affects her brain. Her older brother Luke, about a year and a half ago, got really upset. He said, why is she so happy all the time? Because she's always happy. No matter, you can be like, stop doing this right. You can yell at her for something, like, scold her, and she'll just look at you, she'll smile, and she'll go, okay, and she'll hug you, and she doesn't understand it, you know what I mean? So that's where this character that came from. The bad guy in the film comes from all the bad people that, to me, were in my life.
So you've
my
mixed them up
bullies.
and made a character. Yeah.
Yes, and I made this character up, and I'm not gonna say who it is on film, but another actor that we're looking at. I will give you a clue though, and there's no guarantee that we're gonna get him, but I will say this: he has played a main villain in one of the biggest horror franchises in the world.
Robert Englund. I'm big, yeah. Did I guess it right?
Well, it's not him, and I'll say this: he's a very, very huge, large man. I'm talking about like towering guy. I mean, he's huge. I mean, Danny Colmore.
I might get it in a minute.
So, but I'm not gonna say it on here because I don't want to give fans or people that
I'll stop trying to guess as well.
But on the actress
Robert
name,
Englund was a good guess, to be fair. Robert Englund.
yeah.
You could have had Wolverine versus Freddy Krueger if that was the case.
There you go.
Or it could be Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Jaren. What's the girl's name?
Lizzie Broadway, who played Emma
that's
in
her.
Gen V. Yeah.
Emma, that's it. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I commented on one of her Instagram posts a few months ago, and she actually liked the comment. I was like, yes! I'm like, but then again, I think, okay, it was probably her agent or one of her people who manage her Instagram feed because she doesn't do it herself. Mm-hmm. Which I think a lot of times, a lot of these actors, they have the Instagram stuff up, but they have somebody else controlling it, Mm-hmm. But I would really love to work with her. I think she is really an incredible actress. I mean, I think she carried that whole show, in my opinion. I loved everything that she did. She's a phenomenal actress. And so it'd be kind of cool to have that kind of female lead in a role in the film as well, or even a cameo in the film.
Awesome. Right. So, like, one more time, do you want to just before we wrap this up, do you want to just tell everybody, again, who you are, what you're trying to do, and just wrap this up nicely so anybody that's listening to this can sign out on you and what you're all about. And then, like I said, you can, when the time is right, you can utilize our group to try and help you get where you want to go.
And before I do that, I do have 2 questions for y'all. Earlier, I think you said you were from Missouri.
I live in the Kansas City area. I live on the Kansas side. My wife's from the Missouri side.
Were you ever a St. Louis Rams fan?
No, I'm a Commanders fan. So, and she's always been a lifelong Chiefs fan.
Guys, the reason I was asking, I grew up with a good friend of mine, Torrey Holt, was my next door neighbor, and he played with the Rams. I was going to ask you, that's kind of cool. But you're not a fan, so it doesn't matter.
Greatest show on turf team.
Guys, the other thing I heard earlier, I saw you guys did a post today, and someone mentioned the artist. Is it Ari or Adi Granov?
Yep.
Oh man, I love his artwork. I recently purchased a book from him last year in San Diego. It's the cover of Wolverine from the old Frank Miller one, but it's kind of his artwork and stuff. So that's kind of cool that, if you guys have had him on the show, let me know. I would love to watch that show when he comes up.
Not yet, we haven't, but we have got someone working on that to see if we can get him on the show.
Awesome.
We did have Sean Martinborough on the show last year, who's he was done a lot of work with Black Panther, and he's done a lot of work with DC. So he was on the show. So you can go back and check out his episode, but that was good fun. Speaking to Sean, very intelligent guy, and obviously like great experiences that he's had. And I believe his book, his comic, has just been put up for some awards. I believe I just saw.
That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, he's done great. But look, listen, just tell us who you are, what you're doing.
So my name is Lucky Mangione. I'm in the process of making a Wolverine X-Men fan film that we hope to start shooting at the end of June. We will be doing a Kickstarter for this that will launch on February 27th. You can find me on social media, on Instagram. My main page is Lucky_Mangione, and that is spelled Mangione. You can also follow my cosplay page at The Wolverine Cosplayer. And if you go to that page there is a little link in blue right below that main page right there on the Wolverine Cosplayer. It's a backlit, and what that is a link that you can click on, and it will tell you all about our film. You can put your email into it, and once you put your email in that little link there, whenever we launch it, it's going to go right to your email, so you can get all the updates and stay up to tune with everything that we're doing. And it would be greatly appreciated if you guys did that, because it helps us out as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. Lucky, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again. Thank you for updating us on everything that you're doing. We wish you the best of luck. And, hopefully we can have you on again this time next year, and you would have had a movie out. You would have had, great experiences with Doug Jones and Daniel Cudamore, and maybe even other people, Robert England, maybe. and and you would have had your red carpet events, and we'll have loads more stuff to talk about. So yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. I hope you guys have a great day, and here's to you, bubs.
Love that.
Love it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, Jack. Bye.